one of the biggest things we do talk about is taking Salesforce beyond that sales aspect for several reasons. One, it's just that's where the data starts and that's important, but there's so much more to do with that data and that relationship. So what else is there? I think you just mentioned recruiting and service and so forth. Do you have other things off the top of your head that Salesforce more than sales?
Oh, sure. I think a really good example of that is, I know it's a cliche, but you think in terms of CRM, and 25% of customer relations, 20 to 25% is the sales process. But the other 75% is onboarding, ramping up, and retaining that customer. So Salesforce, I believe next week, is launching the field service application on Service Cloud. And if you think in terms of how many Salesforce customers out there have a field service component, whether it's inside or trucks that are out servicing the customer sites, there is an absolutely huge opportunity in field service for Salesforce. Again, we're launching in the next 60 days Map Anything Live, which is asset tracking. So think in terms of fleet vehicles, think in terms of repair trucks out on the road, think in terms of containers or tractor trailers or rail cars or anything that you want to track. But there is a real opportunity for Map Anything to complement the Salesforce field service application that is launching next week, and we will be supporting those efforts in that launch coming out when they kick off next week.
Would you say that this particular push or initiative totally brings in new industry and new business opportunities then that wouldn't necessarily think of Salesforce at all, but now will?
Yeah, and I do believe that. And I do believe that something that's held Salesforce back a small extent now, I think it was a great extent maybe 5 years ago, is the name CRM and all of what capabilities the platform has. And so in terms of custom development of applications and replacing decades-old Lotus Notes applications, for example, but like we just talked about, opening up the field service aspects of a company that is already on Salesforce on the front end, and front end being the Salesforce, and adopting that on the service component, I think not only streamlines back-end IT operations from supporting multiple applications, but once you put all of those front-end operations in terms of sales process and onboarding customers to the other side of servicing and retaining those customers, not only are you streamlining the IT and the application footprint, but you're smoothing out processes that, quite honestly, are very complex based on technological limitations right now.
And just one more use case out there, throwing it out there that I didn't think of, and I apologize to you guys, but we've done quite applicable this year, is we've done a couple of political campaigns. And so I'm just seeing now that Map Anything would have been fantastic for them to do their canvassing, their calling, be it surveying, whatever it is, but because it's all around zones and precincts and so forth. I mean, that could have been a huge asset for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a short-lived industry and cycle by all accounts, yes. But certainly we have had conversations with several campaigns because it is just a natural fit and something that several campaigns have used Salesforce pretty extensively, and putting visualization layer on top of that really can give you better access to the information, because if you think about politics, it is all about geography when you drill down to it.
That's fantastic. Well, we have a couple of those, so I'm going to bring it up to them and see how we can get Map Anything in there and just make their lives easier.
That would be great.